Welcome to part 4 of Sonic Adventure 2. And yes, Amy, half of the moon is gone, as we saw in the previous part.
Oh, I love them.
I know you do. Don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
reason they
why
were looking
we're
for
looking for him.
Tails? Hmm. The Chaos Emeralds like magnets. If they had a personality, they would be pretty attracted to each other. Haha.
Chaos Emeralds have power to attract each other.
I pretty much stretched for that pun. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yep. The three of you? That means me
Oh
too. Hey,
no!
wait! Anyway, it's time for Mission Street. This is Tails' second
Yeah.
mission. And if I'm going to be honest, in terms of story, this mission doesn't really make sense because Tails basically needs to escape from the military pursuits, but why not? But why is he on the ground and like in his walker form? His walker is also a plane, so why not just transform into the plane and get out of there? That's all he has to do to escape. But no,
Well,
he's
that would get rid of a whole stage of opportunity. So.
yeah, literally the only reason this stage is here is just for the sake of giving Tails another level, even though story-wise it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, that's okay. I think it's a fun stage regardless.
It's an alright stage, yeah. It has good music too.
Oh, I love the music in this one.
Yeah. Really, the entire soundtrack of Sonic Adventure 2 is fantastic. Easily one of my favorite soundtracks in the entire franchise, like top 5,
Yes,
top 3 easily.
easily. Oh my gosh, easily top 3.
Yeah.
Every time I think of like, oh, favorite soundtracks, it'll always be Adventure 2, Adventure 1, and then Sonic Unleashed.
For me, it's Adventure 2, Black Knight, and Mania.
Ooh, okay, okay.
I also love Heroes soundtrack as well.
Oh, the Heroes one is so good. I think the Heroes one's kind of underappreciated.
Yeah, I get it. It has a couple of great songs in there too. Like this machine in particular is one of my favorite songs in the series, and it because in fact I kind of wish Julian K would do more songs for the Sonic the Hedgehog series because I thought they were
I do
great with
too.
not only this machine but also the song "Waking Up," which was in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yep, I agree. It'd be really cool if we could hear more from him.
Yeah. Anyway, the mech stages. If I'm being honest, these stages are perfectly fine. But if I'm being honest, there is one issue I have with them, at least for most of the stages anyway. I don't like how the mechs drop like a rock. Like they drop way too fast after jumping. Now, granted, there is, of course, the hover ability, which I just got, so it makes land.
Look at
So,
you.
so yep. So it does make it does help making long jumps easier, but I still don't like how quickly they drop like a rock without the hover because again, Mega Man X also drove like these mechs and they didn't drop like a rock whenever he jumped in them. So why are Tails and Eggman dropping way too quickly? They drop about as fast. Okay, maybe not as fast as say Mega Man did in the first Mega Man game, but they still drop to the ground really way too fast after jumping.
I guess I kind of would have expected them to drop pretty fast, but what was the game that you said that they were dropping fast?
Mega Man X.
Oh, okay. How really? Are they like light?
They stay in the air way longer than say the mechs in Sonic Adventure 2 do. They don't really drop like a rock. They actually jump. They jump about as well as X and Zero would normally jump out of the right armor. Well, okay, maybe not Zero, but definitely X. The reason I say not Zero because Zero can actually double jump, so that alone makes him better outside of the mech. But X, on the other hand, he gets way more benefits for the right armors. Well, then again,
I see.
well, actually, Zero also gets benefits from the right armor just for the added protection, but it's just that, again, Zero can double jump while X can't, but I digress. We're going off topic.
That's okay.
So, anyway, yeah, the mech stages are perfectly fine. At least when you're playing them normally, anyway. I don't like the A rank requirements for them, specifically in Mission 5, which is the hard mode, because another problem these stages have is that it occasionally has some cheap enemy placement. Now, it doesn't have too much cheap enemy placement in the regular stages, but in Mission 5, there's cheap enemy placement all over the place, and it makes getting the A rank a major pain to like try and get.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Eggman's Cosmic Wall. Like Cosmic Wall Mission 5 is easily the worst mission to A rank, at least for me anyway. Eternal Engines Mission 5 does come close though.
Oh, that one's tough.
Yeah. Eternal Engine is
Eternal Engine Ring! That one, the second mission, that one's ridiculous.
Yeah. Eternal Engine is easily the worst shooting level, at least in my personal opinion anyway.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mission Street, it's a fine level, but again, story-wise, Tails should just, you know, fly out of there in his plane form. In fact, actually, something they could have done, I was actually thinking about this earlier, something they could have done to, like, right around the fact that Tails isn't using his plane form anymore. They could have just, like earlier when he fought Eggman, they could have just wrote in a plot art of the story where Eggman somehow manages to destroy Tails's airplane transformation mechanic, like preventing him from transforming back into the plane again. They easily could have made a plot point about that to give more sense to why Tails would have to be in a mech for that stage, but they didn't, and then it kind of just comes off as making Tails look a little more foolish than he actually is.
I have a question.
What's up?
And I promise it's semi-related.
Okay.
What do you think Chaos Cola tastes like?
That's a good question.
I ask because of all the Chaos Cola ads in Mission Street, so...
If I had to guess, I want to assume a mix between Coke and Sprite.
Okay, that's fair. I've seen a lot of people depict Chaos Cola as a blue drink. Would you agree that it would be a blue soda?
I could probably see that, but then again, I've never really had blue drinks outside of blue energy drinks like Gatorade, so I can't really give a good thought on that.
To be fair, in Japan, like colored sodas like that are very common, so I think it actually makes a lot of sense to assume that it could be a blue drink like that. So I could see it.
That's fair.
Yeah, but there's a lot of colored stuff.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
But anyway, before we go on another tangent, the treasure hunting stages, like I said Ed earlier in the previous part, they basically follow almost the same gameplay formula as Sonic Adventure 1, like Knuckles has to find all the pieces of the Master Emerald, but they've made one change to it that I personally am not a fan of, at least when it comes to A-ranking the stages. They heavily downgraded the radar. You can only detect one piece of the Master Emerald at a time, which I think is pretty dumb because there are a lot of times where you could potentially be right next to a piece of the Master Emerald, but you'll never know that it's there until you find the other pieces first, which I think is dumb as far as trying to speedrun these stages go.
Yeah, I don't agree. Just personally, I don't know. Because of how the SA1 one was, I remember being confused all the time because I'd be in a certain spot, and then the radar would go off for 2 different emeralds, and just the overall rhythm of it would throw me off, and I'd be like, oh, they're both playing at the same time, I can't tell which one's closer, I can't tell where to go, so it was always easier, this game was always easier for me, just so I didn't wind up ever getting confused.
I guess that's kind of fair, but allow me to give you a hint with the radar in Sonic Adventure 1, because this is also another reason why I was able to prefer it over Adventure 2. Yes, the radar does, go off for pretty much any of the emerald pieces, but here's a hint. The piece that you're closest to, how some of the, how the radar kind of bobs up and down, whenever you're very close to an emerald piece.
Yeah.
Whichever one you're closest to is the one that bobs up and down. So if you just pay attention to whichever one is bobbing up and down, that's the emerald piece you're closest to, and the one that you should be going after next.
I see. Yeah, I always was like, oh god, they're both beeping around the same, oh god, it was just too much. It was just too much. So there'd be times where I remember I was in Casinopolis one time, for way too long because of that reason. But then I can play any of these SA2 stages and be done within less than 2 minutes.
I understand, but wait,
I think we talked about that, right?
wait, even in Meteor Herd or Mad Space, because you know the stages that are way too big and take too long to
Oh,
explore.
Mad Space doesn't count because Mad Space is ridiculous. So no, not. But
Yeah,
Meteor Herd, yes, sometimes. Sometimes, yes, sometimes I will exceed 2 minutes. Because yes, Meteor Herd's just a big stage, but even then, I can still probably do it in under 3 to 4 minutes.
hmm.
Because we did have a conversation about this before, but if you pay really close attention, most of the emerald pieces are in very specific sections of the stage, and as long as you kind of
Hmm.
pick up on the algorithm, um, you can kind of, for the most part, figure out where everything is.
I have recently started to notice a little bit about that, but at the same time, I still find it a little too vague because yeah, yeah, they're probably in specific general areas, but again, it's not very specific where in the general area. So you got to explore the entirety of each general area until you find the piece of the Master Emerald, and who knows how long it'll take because I feel like speedrunning the treasure hunting stages is completely luck based because of how again the pieces if they're not close together and if you wind up in the wrong spot and fumble around for too long, you're not getting the A rank, and that's what I think is dumb about these stages. Now, if you're just playing these stages at your own pace, I'm going to be honest, I think the treasure hunting stages are actually pretty fun. Um, even if I do think it's a step down from Sonic Adventure 1, it's A ranking them why I personally think it has design problems.
Mm. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
If
felt
I'm
like.
not paying
Sorry,
attention
go
to
ahead.
rank, it's actually. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was
It's
just gonna
okay.
say, like, if I'm not paying attention to rank, it's actually like it's a really relaxing gameplay style.
Yeah, and I felt like I originally wasn't very fair with the treasure hunting stages in the older commentary we did a few years ago because I felt like I was judging them strictly based off of trying to A rank them. But nowadays, I'm willing to look past the A rank a little to just judge it on its own, despite the
Hmm.
ranking. Because honestly, the only because again, it's mostly A ranking these stages I have a problem with. But if you're just playing them normally, these stages are fun. I like them.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't really care that much about the ranks all that much, and I just remember playing this, and I don't know, I just felt like relaxed, like okay, it's just
Yeah.
like a game of hide and seek.
Yeah.
But
Although this particular stage, Aquatic Mine, this was the stage I actually first got stuck on, and because I was spending like 15 minutes in this stage during my first playthrough, I just decided I'm gonna go straight to the Dark Story now, just for something new, something see if there's anything else I can enjoy.
mm-hmm.
I can't remember what story I finished first though. I think I finished the hero story before the dark story though. Even though I went to the dark story, I mostly just went to the dark story just to take a break from the hero story during my first playthrough. And then after playing a
Uh-huh.
couple of stages in the dark story, I eventually went back to the hero story and resumed my playthrough from here.
I understand. This stage in particular is for me the most difficult one. I actually
Really,
struggle with yeah, I struggle with this one much more than I do Meteor Herd.
really, that is a bold claim.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a claim. It's just how it is. I struggle on this stage more than I struggle with Meteor Herd. That's just, you know.
Okay. I'm personally the other way around because again, Meteor Herd is extremely big, and honestly, the main problem I have with one problem I have with both Meteor Herd and Mad Space is not just the fact that it's
Mhm.
really big and you need to search every area, but rather just simply trying to progress to other areas is kind of tedious as well because you can only go up by relying on the rockets in very specific areas of the level, and unless you don't and unless you know where all the locations for the rockets are you're going to spend way more time than necessary to find all the pieces.
Mhm.
As you can, in fact, as you can see, I am okay. I was just here in the stage earlier, like when I got the air necklace. So now the radar is going off. I probably would have gotten this emerald piece earlier if the radar worked like it did in Sonic Adventure 1. You see my problem here?
Yeah, I know. I do understand. Although, to be fair, usually in this situation, this actually happened where the emerald would be down here.
Yeah.
Every time I come in here, specifically to get the air necklace, I always like search the spot before I leave. So
Ah.
I go, I
Okay.
get the air necklace, That's
Is,
actually what I do normally. Is
is that
I'll get the ear necklace, and then I'll go back down, check that area out, and then if it's not there, I will actually reset the stage and then start now that I have the ear necklace.
I see. Out of curiosity, is that particular location the only part of that area where the Emerald Shark could potentially be, like in the underwater level, the area? I mean.
Not necessarily, but it's a common spot, so that's
Oh,
why I usually.
okay. I was actually replaying that stage earlier today on the HD version of the 360 version,
Mhm.
and I actually managed to find that piece. Like when I checked there, I noticed the radar wasn't going off, and I managed to collect it. And yeah, it means I got an A rank that time, unlike I did for this run. But I still wish that I would have able to been detected earlier, like I could in Sonic Adventure 1. But hey, that's just me. So yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, that was part 4 of Sonic Adventure 2. Tune in for part 5, where we feel the need for speed. So see you then.
Let's do it.